To a very special episode of Two Bald Guys, where we take a sneak peek look behind the scenes at the Wisconsin Institute for Public Policy and Service, also known as WIPPS. My name is Eric Giordano, and I am the Executive Director of WIPPS. And take it away, colleague Dave Anderson.
And greetings, Eric. And you're right, I am Dave Anderson. I'm a Senior Policy Fellow here at WIPPS. And for those of you who may not be familiar with WIPPS, we're a unit of the University of Wisconsin system, founded in 2007 with a mission to educate and engage citizens, develop future leaders, and bring the resources of the university to address community-identified needs.
Thanks, Dave. And I think it's high time to acknowledge to our two loyal viewers that you and I are truly privileged, Dave. Through the magic of the internet, right, we get to share our massive planet-sized heads with the world. But today we're even more privileged than usual because waiting in the wings are a series of special guests who are almost as good looking and smart as you and me, Dave. In addition, these guests are some of our favorite colleagues who work for or are affiliated with WIPPS, and each is going to give us a brief behind the scenes peek at what we are doing here at WIPPS. So Dave, my only remaining question is why? Why are we so excited to share this with our two loyal viewers?
Well, Eric, I am really glad you asked that question. So today we want to share more about us and what we do as we launch the new Friends of the WIPPS campaign. Our viewers may not be aware, but we are a largely self-sustaining organization. All of our programs are funded by generous donations from individuals and organizations. So we are excited to announce a new opportunity to help ensure WIPPS programs can continue indefinitely through our new Friends of WIPPS campaign.
That's right, Dave. So let's get into some details. For an annual gift of just $75, our loyal viewers can become friends of WIPPS. And for an additional, or for an annual contribution of $250, our loyal viewers can become a patron of WIPPS. Now, you might ask yourself, why become a friend or a patron of WIPPS? Well, obviously, the first response, Dave, is that with their contributions, they automatically become friends with two of the most incredibly handsome bald guys on the planet. And that alone really ought to be enough of an incentive, right? But Dave, I hear that there are even more reasons and incentives to become a friend of WIPPS, and what we in the hairless business like to call fringe benefits. Get it? So fill us in, Dave.
That's absolutely right, Eric. And there are some real tangible benefits to becoming a friend of WIPPS or a premier sponsor. In the Friends of WIPPS category, that's the $75 category, our friends will receive free entry to a member social event, an invitation to attend our annual awards event, a Friends of WIPPS appreciation gift, exclusive member communications and newsletters, and participation in the annual WIPPS program survey. However, for those that choose to become a patron of WIPPS, that's the $250 level, that includes free entry to a member social event, free entry to our annual awards event, a Patrons of WIPPS appreciation gift, invitation to special speaker receptions, VIP seating, Eric, VIP seating at select WIPPS events, recognition in select WIPPS promotional materials, exclusive member communications and newsletters, participation, of course, in our annual WIPPS program survey, and an invitation to an exclusive members roundtable with featured WIPPS policy fellows. But that's not all.
What?
Friends and patrons will get an even bigger bang for their pluck. Get that, Eric? Bang?
Yeah, I
Got
get
it?
it.
Okay, good. So they'll get a bigger bang for their pluck in the form of a unique gift. Friends of WIPPS will receive the stylish and handy water bottle. Here it is with the WIPPS logo, very stylish. And patrons will receive a wonderful notepad portfolio embossed with the WIPPS. You can't quite see it in the light here, embossed with the WIPPS logo as well. So to sum up, Eric, there is sure to be jubilation and dancing in the streets for the Friends of WIPPS if they choose to support this outstanding organization.
That's great, Dave. I just wonder, does the donation also give them an escape clause from your really bad hair jokes? Because if it does, sign me up. But anyway, joking aside, if you would be kind enough to support WIPPS, dear viewers, you can go to wipps.org/member. That's WIPPS.org/member and click on the Become a Member button. Dave, I think it's time to get to our guests, right? I'm really excited today because our first behind the scenes guest is one of our fantastic program managers, Julie Bunchak. And hopefully she'll join us here in a minute. There she is. Julie, we'd love to have you tell us a little bit about who you are, what you do at WIPPS, and what kind of exciting programs you are organizing for our audience.
Sure. So I'm Julie Bunchak. I'm a program manager with WIPPS. I do a lot of event coordination, and I'm very excited to tell you about a couple of events that I'm working on. One is coming up really quick here. It's next week, Wednesday, October 21st. And it'll be a virtual event featuring our special guest, John Bolton, former National Security Advisor to President Trump and former ambassador to the United Nations. And he will be giving a presentation titled Populism, National Security, and U.S. Foreign Policy in Uncertain Times. This event is free, but registration is required. So if viewers are interested in registering to attend the event, go to our website, WIPPS.org, and on the landing page, you'll see a list of upcoming events. If you click on John Bolton, you'll be taken to a link to register, and then a Zoom link will be sent to you so that you can join the event. He is expected to speak for about half an hour, and then he will spend half an hour answering questions from the audience. So come ready with your questions for Ambassador John Bolton. And you know, Eric and Dave, no matter how you feel about John Bolton, I think we can all agree that he does have really great hair. And Ambassador Bolton is coming to us through the generous support of the Tommy G. Thompson Center at UW-Madison. And the Thompson Center is also helping us to bring another guest here in the spring. And she is the guest who cannot be named because we have not yet completely signed all the papers and crossed all the T's and dotted all the I's. So I cannot tell you her name, but I can tell you that she is a New York Times best-selling author and historian who has written a lot on the topics of US presidents. So if anybody who's watching would like to, type into the comments, take a guess as to who you think this fantastic speaker is, who we will have here, we will have in spring, go right ahead. We can neither confirm nor deny that you are correct. But if you would like to be among the first people to find out when we are able to release the name of this really awesome speaker, again, go to our website, wipps.org. And then click on contact, which is going to be way far to the right of the menu bar across the top. And then you will sign up to subscribe to our newsletter. And then you will get all the information about this speaker as well as all the other great events that we do at WIPPS. And then the final event I want to talk to you about is one of my favorite events to work on every year is the Jim Benninga Lecture on Religion and Society. Jim Benninga was the founder of WIPPS. He was a former dean at UW Marathon County. He passed away sadly a few years ago, but he established a lecture series that bears his name. And the topic is, again, it's the Jim Benninga Lecture on Religion and Society. And this next lecture that's coming up will be our 10th lecture. This is probably going to happen sometime in spring. So we're excited because it's the 10th lecture, but I'm extra excited because the lecturer is going to be Dr. Jenny Benninga, who is Jim's daughter. And she is an associate professor of religion and theological studies at St. Edward's University in Austin, Texas. So we're really excited that she will be joining us. Hoping that this can be an in-person event because I just really want to be able to say that, I'm to be able to welcome Jenny Benninga, our 10th Benninga lecturer in the Benninga Theater on the UWSP at Wausau campus. So yeah, lots of exciting things coming up.
Well, thank you very much, Julie, and thank you for all the work you do in this area. We are so fortunate in a community like Wausau to have such nationally known speakers come, whether it's in person or virtually, as the situation may be right now, but to address our audience, not only in Wausau, but throughout central Wisconsin. So thank you for your work along those lines. And I was taking some notes in my exclusive WIPPS portfolio notebook as you were speaking to capture some of that great information. It's now my pleasure to welcome another of our program managers, Sharon Hunter. Sharon, maybe you can tell us a little bit about an important conference that you're organizing with many individuals and organizations across the state. Frankly, it's a conference that has really become kind of a flagship program since I think this is the third, we're already doing our second year, but we're already working on the third year. So Sharon, take it away.
Thanks, Dave. One of the programs that I coordinate is the Toward One Wisconsin Conference. So I am the program manager at WIPPS, and one of my responsibilities is the conference. Now, the conference is coming up very, very soon. It's going to be November 11th, 12th, and 13th. And as Dave mentioned, it will be virtual. So the conference kicks off with a pre-conference on Wednesday, November 11th. And that half day will focus on racism as a health equity issue. And then on Thursday morning, we move into the conference with an opening ceremony and a panel addressing the state of Wisconsin in terms of inclusion, diversity, equity, and access issues, sorry. So the goal of our conference is to bring together people from all across the state, from different backgrounds and organizations, to highlight new and innovative approaches and best practices, research, and success stories. And we do this by offering 48 different breakout sessions with over 100 presenters. And the breakout sessions focus on workforce, community, education, and health. So like I said, it's an array of people that we bring together. We also have two nationally known speakers, Hillary Ware from Netflix and Hannah Nicole Jones, who is instrumental in the 1619 Project. So it's also an opportunity for you to self-reflect and learn what you can do as an individual and what you can do in your organization or in your community to make change in the state, about racism, social injustice, access, equity, and inclusion. So we hope you will join us on November 11th through 12th. Of course, there's a cost, and the cost is $125 for the 3-day event if you register before October 23rd. After that, the cost will go up to $225. And to find out more information about the conference, please visit inclusivity-wi.org. So I do have a joke. It's about Bald Bill, and I didn't realize there were Bald Bill jokes on the internet. And my husband's name is Bill, so I'm going to run these by him after a while, even though he's not quite bald yet. So Bald Bill is so bald, you can see what's on his mind. So thank you, and we hope you'll be able to join us at the conference. We won't disappoint you if you do.
Wow, that is fantastic, Sharon, minus the joke, of course. But good job. Thank you. And I just want to say, Sharon, we're so grateful for you, for all the work that you do in helping to organize this conference. It is an incredible amount of work, but we are really excited. I mean, we already have, I don't know, maybe we're getting closing on about 450 registrants.
That is correct.
We have well over 500. We've got so many awesome speakers coming. I am really excited about this conference. So thanks for all the work you're doing there.
Thank you.
All right, we are ready to move on to our next guests. And actually, we're going to bring in two guests. And dear faithful viewers, you know one of these guests because he's a token representative of an attractive younger demographic named Luke Rudolph, who is also the producer of The Two Bald Guys. And we're really pleased to welcome our newest intern, also Olivia Rasmussen. So Olivia, welcome. We're so glad to have you. You guys are both on mute. But Olivia, let's start with you. Tell us a little bit about yourself, maybe your major, what you're doing, where you're going to school, and what are you working on at WIPPS?
Yeah, thanks, Eric. So as Eric said, my name is Olivia. I was born and raised in central Wisconsin, but right now I'm a senior at UW-Madison and I'm studying education studies. And I started working with WIPPS this semester for course credit, and I've been really enjoying it so far. And it's been nice to get to know everyone. And at WIPPS, And the two main projects I've been working on with WIPPS are with Lena Start in Marathon County and with Goodwin, Wisconsin. So with Lena Start, that's a research partner of WIPPS that works to close childhood achievement gaps. And how I've been helping with that is I've been co-facilitating weekly Zoom meetings, kind of working through the technical difficulties that obviously arise with this transition to virtual meetings. And then I've also been working on the technical logistics with Julie with the Goodwin, Wisconsin conference. As this conference has gone completely online, as Sharon mentioned, we have like 48 breakout sessions. There's obviously a lot to kind of manage and organize when it comes to having moderators and facilitators in all of these sessions. So yeah, that's a little bit about what I've been working on with WIPPS. I started in early September, so it's been nice to get to know everyone over the past month and a half. And I did bring a hair joke, not a bald joke, but a hair joke. So mine is, why is Pavlov's hair so soft?
Why is Pavlov's hair so soft?
Good question, Eric. A lot of conditioning.
Oh,
Wow.
okay, that's good. I've
Thank
looked
you.
at a lot of online hair jokes and I have not seen that one. So kudos to you.
Thank you. I did some searching. I wanted to come with a good one.
All right. Well, thank you so much. Luke, how are you?
I'm doing great. I'm happy to be hanging out with my favorite two bald guys once again. My name is Luke Rudolph. I'm a research assistant here at WIPPS. I also help produce Two Bald Guys. I am a political science major at UWSP in my last semester. One of the things besides Two Bald Guys that I help with is just producing a lot of the live Zoom events that we have, whether they're webinars. The Towards One Wisconsin, I've been helping out with the production for that. And I also got to help out with crafting this member program, which I was really, it was a great learning experience. And I'm just so thankful for all of the opportunities I've had to dip my toes in different projects and wear different hats while at WIPPS here. And it's been a great opportunity. And I really recommend any other young people who are interested in public policy service or just working at an organization to give an internship here a shot, because it's a great group of people to work with and you really get to learn a lot.
Thanks. I'm loving the, is that a handkerchief in there? That's
It's called the Pocket Square.
oh, sorry. Yeah.
Yeah. And I just wanted to say, I didn't bring a joke, but it's just so nice to be on a show for once where there's people with hair are outnumbering the follically challenged. So it's great to have my haired compatriots with me here today.
You're fired.
Well,
no, I'm just kidding.
and Luke played an instrumental role in making our gift selections for our new members, including the wonderful notepad portfolio, as well as the thermos that Eric is demonstrating.
I'm a little challenged with my drinking, but yeah, thank you.
Thank you very much, Luke. We appreciate everything you do for us. Our next two guests are WIPPS Policy Fellows. You may recall that I too am a policy fellow, so I guess I'm going to be introducing my fellow fellows here in just a moment. But it is my pleasure to welcome Dr. Corey Norbaum and Jeff Todd. Corey and Jeff, please introduce yourselves and take a minute to tell us about a program that you're currently working on. And I know you have a number of them to choose from. So Corey, take it away.
Thanks, Dave. So I'm Corey Norbaum. I'm a family doctor and also, again, health policy fellow here at WIPPS. One of the projects that I'm currently working on is called the Hmong and Hispanic Communication Network, or we call it H2N for short. And it arose out of community need in the setting of COVID, which has highlighted a lot of health and other inequities. Immigrant communities are at such greater risk for not only health consequences, but also consequences around economics and education. So one of the things that we noticed was that communication and messaging strategies that are different than typical are needed to effectively reach these immigrant communities. And so our project relies on community coordinators working with a group of community liaisons to have bidirectional communication. where we can listen to what's going on in the community to find out what are their concerns, what are they understanding about COVID, where are they getting their information, and how can we help get information from public health, health systems, and resource agencies out into the communities in a more effective way. And so I'm going to turn it over to Jeff to talk a little bit more about something that we're working on specifically right now.
Well, hi, good afternoon. Hello, Eric and Dave and my WIPPS colleagues. Nice to see you. As was mentioned by Dave, I am a WIPPS Senior Public Health Policy Fellow. I'm probably one of the newer ones, and I'm also involved with the WIPPS Research Partners. Prior to that, in my earlier career, I was a public health officer in Illinois. I served as the chief of the Quality Bureau for the Illinois Department of Healthcare and Family Services, which was the state Medicaid agency. And when I got to Wisconsin, I went to work at Aspirus and was the regional medical practice executive for Aspirus in the Wausau market. And now I'm retired, so I'm a professional volunteer. In addition to my work with WIPPS, I also serve as the manager of the First Presbyterian Free Clinic, which provides primary care services to homeless and low-income and uninsured folks in the Marathon County area. The project that Dr. Norbaum was referring to is we've recently initiated an activity to increase immunization levels within the area, and we've applied to the Wisconsin Department of Health Services for a fairly substantial grant to double the number of community health workers that Dr. Norbaum was recently talking about from 10 to 20. Our hope is to focus in the minority community, especially Hispanic and Hmong population, around increasing immunization rates, especially for influenza. There is a real concern that with the winter coming and with the dual dynamic of COVID-19 and then influenza on top of it, it could be an extremely dangerous year. So we want to increase as much as possible the number of folks who avail themselves of immunizations, especially influenza. The foundation for this is that the rates for immunization among Hispanic and Hmong population are nowhere near the majority population. And part of that is fear, misinformation. And so we want to demystify the whole process of immunizations and improve health. And obviously we'll continue working on our COVID-19 health education and outreach as well. So we're really excited to participate and partner with WIPPS. Without their help and resources, we just couldn't make this happen. Oh, I do have a joke.
Oh, okay. Well,
Oh,
I'm glad you saved the
I
best.
almost forgot. That would have been terrible. Okay, here it is. How does the man on the moon cut his hair?
Oh,
I don't know, Jeff. How does the man on the moon cut his hair?
Eclipses it.
my gosh.
Wow, pulling out all the stops. Awesome.
Whoa.
I told you it was dumb.
Hey, that's our specialty here, as I said.
Uh,
Well, thank you both. I mean, you two are two of the most awesome, hardworking, dedicated individuals I know, and we are so grateful to have you affiliated with WIPPS. And so I'm just excited that our two viewers got to meet you. And yeah, we do have two. We know that my mom watches and somebody else's mom watches, so that's great. But thank you both, and keep up the great work. So we'll talk to you soon.
More than one.
See ya.
Well, we have one more guest, and you know what they say, we shave the best for last, Dave. So it's now my pleasure to introduce another of our WIPPS Policy Fellows and the director of WIPPS Research Partners, Sharon Belton. Sharon, please tell us a little bit about yourself and give us a little bit of a behind-the-scenes glance at what WIPPS Research Partners is doing.
Well, thank you, Eric and Dave, for having me. Eric, as you know, I was born and raised in Massachusetts, so I thought this would be a perfect time for me to pull out my Boston accent and say, I'm happy to be here.
Oh, I get it.
Oh my gosh.
Very good.
Anyway, thank you. I have the pleasure of serving alongside my colleagues at WIPPS as the director of WIPPS Research Partners. And our mission at WIPPS Research Partners is to try to take all of the technical and academic expertise of the University of Wisconsin system and help communities, businesses, organizations, governments, nonprofit entities solve problems and improve communities and improve their organizations. And two really interesting projects that we've worked on over the past 6 months in the current environment that we're in with the COVID pandemic, I'll tell you a little bit about both of those. The first one is a project that WIPPS Research Partners actually initiated to help businesses and other organizations who were trying to make really important decisions about how to return employees to work during the COVID situation and how to do it safely. We developed a very detailed and comprehensive survey instrument that organizations and businesses can use within their workforce to try to understand the level of concern amongst their employees about returning to work during COVID. What kinds of things were they worried about? What kinds of safety protocols and precautions did employees feel that they would need to be more comfortable returning to work? And also try to get some information about how employees might feel about continuing to work from home and how that might be impacting both their productivity and the quality of work that they're doing, but also how connected they feel to their fellow employees and to their employer in general. And, as a result of this survey, our role is to try to help provide some practical information that can help improve the whole return to work process during what is obviously a very challenging time for both employees as well as employers. A second project that has been especially impactful, not just in our local area, but on a broader level, is that this summer we noticed that in the policy debates that were taking place with respect to children returning to school this fall, there was very little, if any, information really capturing how students were feeling about the return to school process. And, for some students that might be returning to school virtually. For others, it meant returning to school in person. And for some, it was a blend of both. And we really noticed that there was this significant information gap, and we felt that we could have a role in trying to provide some information to help inform those decisions. So we conducted a series of focus groups this summer with middle and high school students across Marathon County to really get at their insights about return to school and capture what really was some compelling information about the anxieties and concerns and stresses that students were experiencing with respect to, getting back into the classroom. And it's our goal at WIPPS Research Partners, if we have the resources and we have the funding, to be able to follow up on gathering some additional information from not only the students that we talked to this summer, but expand this kind of project. And, investments in WIPPS that, Eric and Dave were talking about early on in this broadcast really can help support, those kinds of efforts in us being able to provide, proactive information that can inform really important things that are going on in the community. So I'm thrilled to have this chance to share what we do with not just the two people listening, but everybody else that might hear about us down the road. So thank you for having me.
Well, thank you, Sharon. And it's really been a pleasure for me to work with you as we kind of continue to reach out and let others know about the great services provided by WIPPS Research Partners. Again, it's really a unique service that WIPPS provides through this effort to organizations really all across the state that otherwise might not have access to some of the great talent and expertise that's available throughout the University of Wisconsin system. So thank you for your leadership in this area and for all that you do as well. You know, Eric, I have to say that despite their really bad jokes that we've heard throughout the course of the show today, we really have a wonderful group of people on this WIPPS team. And we're really fortunate to have everyone as highly engaged as they are. And in all honesty, we've really just touched the surface on what WIPPS is all about today. And we've only highlighted really a handful of things. There's so much more that WIPPS is involved with as well. And I think a lot of times, even those who have some familiarity with what WIPPS doesn't realize the breadth of activities that WIPPS is involved in. So it's our hope that those who are listening today might feel inspired to become a friend of WIPPS or a patron of WIPPS by donating and help us to continue some of the remarkable programming and services that you've heard about today. As a reminder, people can donate at the $75 level and become a friend of WIPPS, or the $250 level and become a patron of WIPPS, or really any amount that people are comfortable with, we're happy to accept. And people can donate by visiting wipps.org/donate and complete that online submission. And we'd be happy to have their support.
Dave, just quick correction. It's wipps.org/member. Sorry.
Oh, member.
Yep.
Sorry about that.
No problem.
Thank you for the correction. I appreciate that.
Yeah. You know, I'm very willing to correct you and also poke fun at all your jokes. But actually, Dave, it's a pleasure to work with you. And I really want to echo everything that you said. It's a privilege to work alongside Sharon, Corey, Jeff, Olivia, Luke, Julian, and Sharon Hunter. They're just amazing and inspiring individuals. And I think it's fair to say that these and others who work with WIPPS are highly motivated. I mean, that's one thing that I think sets us apart. We're all very motivated by a desire to fulfill the mission of WIPPS, which is educating and engaging citizens, developing future leaders, and really helping communities address identified needs. And I guess my only regret today is that we couldn't fit everyone else that also works with WIPPS and is affiliated with WIPPS into our program today. And we especially want to apologize to Dwayne "The Rock" Johnson, who wanted to share his incredibly important role at WIPPS, but alas, we will have to invite him back in a couple weeks for our next program. So sorry about that. So what else have we got on tap here, Dave?
Well, yes, We and the Rock, Eric told me to say that, We and the Rock will be back in 2 weeks to do a special Wisconsin election preview on Friday, October 30th at noon. And so it's time to end another wonderful Two Bald Guys episode. But I think it's important to end with an important public service announcement. So I want to share something that I'm hoping will catch on. But as part of our effort to raise funds through our WIPPS Friends program, I actually did a head shave on Tuesday night.
Dave, what do you mean you did a head shave?
Oh, no, I don't mean I didn't shave my head, but was my wife ever mad when she woke up on Wednesday morning and looked in the mirror?
Oh, well, I happen to know June, and trust me, you wouldn't be sitting here alive today if anything like that, even close to that happened. So thanks for bringing her up. And really, I think a more important public service than donating to WIPPS might be if Luke would be willing to cut your microphone before assaulting us with your lame jokes. But because you are such an incredible friend of WIPPS, Dave, and to me personally, I'm going to make a rare acknowledgement that you and me, Dave, I think we're forever joined at the clip.
Oh boy. Well, thanks, Eric. And if Luke is going to do a public service by trying to cut my jokes off, I think he needs to cut your jokes off too. But I really want to remind everybody to not forget to donate at wipps.org/member. And we look forward to seeing everybody in 2 weeks. Thanks.
Thanks. Bye, everybody.